Hate me, don't you?
Kons Podcast.
Hate me, don't you?
Hit that like button, subscribe and share.
Hate me, don't you?
Constant content.
There is something new with Diddy. I don't even, you feel me? I don't even know what JID went on to perform a little snippet of this at the Dreamville. Terrence Howard that went on to say, you know what I'm saying, about, you know what I mean, that you, when you get your manhood. Yo, what's up, what's going on, what's happening, what's going on, it's a Monday, back at it, you know what I'm saying, it's a Monday. 1:46 in the afternoon, you know what I'm saying, 1:46 in the afternoon on a Monday, April 7th, you know what I mean, hope y'all had a good weekend, you know what I'm saying, hope y'all did everything you wanted to do, hope you kicked it, you know what I'm saying, hope you pulled up, hope you rolled up, you know what I'm saying, did everything that you earned through the week, you feel me, kicked your feet up, you know what I'm saying, whatever you did, hope you was chilling, you know what I mean, hope you had a good weekend, you feel me, hope you ended last week off with Kons Podcast, and I hope you back today to start your week off with Kons Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Just got a few little topics today. You know what I'm saying? Just 3 of them. You know what I mean? Just 3 of them real quick. You know what I mean? This really ain't going to be a long episode because I'm starting late and I got shit to do. Just little quick, little 3 topics. You know what I'm saying? Over the weekend, I've been hearing about this Terrence Howard shit. You know what I mean? So I touched on that. Looked that up. Got them to talk about that. It's a new Diddy case. New day. New Diddy case, you feel me? Once again, it look like Cassie gonna be testifying. You know what I'm saying? We also got JID doing a collab album with Metro Boomin. He did a little snippet at the Dreamville Fest that J. Cole was hosting over the weekend. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a few little topics we're gonna be going over today. So yeah, how y'all doing though? Hope y'all doing good. You know what I'm saying? Hope y'all doing good. You know what I mean? Over the weekend, yesterday, you know what I'm saying? My internet went out. You feel me? So didn't have no internet. Whole house was down. And the way, you feel me, new age houses is, you know what I'm saying? We have what you call a smart home. So everything is on the internet, and I mean everything. I'm talking about TV is on the internet, Alexas, you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean, my fridge, you know what I'm saying, everything is on the net. So without the internet, we didn't have shit happening in this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying. I'm watching old Blu-ray movies and shit. I think I done watched both 2 Transformer movies back to back, and then fucked around after that and watched Ninja Turtles, just Blu-rays that I had, just digging them up and shit like that, you know what I'm saying. But apparently that shit is all fixed today, you know what I mean. We back home, you know what I'm saying, back online, you know what I mean, house back online and all that, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, let's get into these topics, you feel me? We gonna get into these topics. Before we jump into these topics though, you know what I'm saying, if you new here, if you just subscribed, this is Kons Podcast, where we go over the headlines, news, you know what I mean, shit that's happening, shit that took place, shit that went viral, whole bunch of whatever headlines that went viral and took place and made a headline and you done seen it, headline across something, your platform, whatever you see, whether you seen it across YouTube, you seen it across Hip Hop DX, whether you've seen it across Google, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, I'm probably going to touch on it right here on this podcast, you feel me. You get this content Monday through motherfucking Friday, you know what I'm saying. So without further ado, let's jump into these topics. So first up, Terrence Howard, you know what I'm saying, Terrence Howard recently went on, I think it's called the PCB or something like that podcast, something like that, you know what I'm saying, with the Italian dude hosting it or whatnot, you know what I mean. I'm going to post a clip of said podcast, you know what I mean. You're going to see the host, the Italian dude. You probably seen it before, you know what I mean. He do a lot of interviews or whatnot. But anyway, Terrence Howard that went on to say, you know what I'm saying, about, you know what I mean, that when you get your manhood took, you can't get it back. You know what I'm saying? He went on a whole little rant talking about this and such, and went on to say that Diddy was inviting him to his house on certain different occasions for him to help him with certain shit, like acting shit. He said he has some music, so Diddy wanted to hear his music, so he pulled up, brought his music to his house and whatnot, and he said Diddy was just sitting there looking at him, waiting for something, you know what I'm saying? So I guess Terrence dipped out after these 2 times, and he told him to come back the following weekend, and he said his assistant looked at him, and he was like, for what? And he said his assistant said, I think Diddy is trying to fuck you. You know what I'm saying? So this is the stir and that, what everybody's talking about Terrence Howard and the shit that he put out on this podcast and him talking about Diddy. So this clip you about to see is him talking about this shit on this PDT, whatever the fuck the name of the podcast is. But he on there and he mentioned Diddy's name and talked about how he invited him over to the house to help him with certain shit and then just didn't say shit. You know what I mean? And then you gonna hear him say that he wanted to come next weekend. He asked why, and his assistant said, I think he wants to fuck you. Check this clip out.
Losing out money. You got to take drugs. You're going through so much shit to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far. You know, who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what he had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. You know, but when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, you know, one of the things you're seeing, you went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in and make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything.
You see, you know what I'm saying? That was a Terrence Howard clip. That was him on that podcast and him actually saying these things that I just told you. You know what I'm saying? It felt like he felt like, or his assistant at least felt like, that Diddy was trying to come on to him and trying to fuck. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he went on the whole spiel. You heard him say, you know what I'm saying? When you give up your manhood, you feel me? You can't get that back. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole spiel as why he went on to say that or whatnot. Some people were saying, I read through the comments and shit. Some people thinking that he lying. This one dude put out named China Brim think that he lying about the shit, saying that he was at Diddy parties and shit. So I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But this is everything that Terrence Howard was putting out there over the weekend. That's why you probably seen his name going viral and echoing throughout the internet waves. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know, you know, I myself, I don't know if it's true or not. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a lot of celebrities coming out and saying this type of shit about Diddy since he been to jail. I don't know why nobody was saying this shit when he was out of jail. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden he in jail and everybody got something to say. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Howard coming out and saying that. I don't know why he came out and said that. You know what I'm saying? But everybody is definitely talking about it. You know what I mean? And on to the next subject, Diddy. So new Diddy, new case. You know what I mean? I guess he is also being brought back in court testifying. I guess Cassie is going to testify in court for the trafficking and for the coercing and making violent threats through force and threaten people to do what he wants them to do. I guess Cassie is going to be the only one that's going to have her name out in the open on this case. A lot of people has been submitting these cases and going anonymous with their name, keeping their name away from the public. So apparently in this new case, there is Cassie and two other victims apparently that have came forth, and the two other victims are keeping their names revealed to Diddy and the legal teams, but keeping them away from the public. So therefore in court, Diddy will know who the person is, and along with the legal team, but the public will not. But Cassie is definitely keeping her name revealed. Now they had just brought this new thing up to light with new allegations. She's going to be testifying for trafficking, and also she's going to be testifying for coercing and convincing victims to do things through force. Yo, excuse me. Let me interrupt this episode. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't hit that subscribe button, now is your time to do that. In the middle of this explosive, dope content that I'm bringing you. You know what I'm saying? Now's your time to hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that like button, comment on whatever you like, whatever you want to comment on. Now's your time to go ahead and do that if you ain't done it already. You know what I'm saying? But definitely hit that subscribe button, and definitely tell somebody else to hit that subscribe button too. You know what I'm saying? It's Kons Podcast. Let's get back to the episode. You know what I'm saying? And coercing and making threats. You know what I'm saying? One victim had came out and claimed that she was pregnant and then lost a baby. Also said that another victim that came out and said that she was being flew out to different places to perform for Diddy and his associates. You know what I'm saying? Saying that she was flown out. So this next clip you're about to see is the same person that I showed you last time that had the 7-minute clip. You feel me? This is her again giving you all of the details and the court documents and so on about this next case coming up that Cassie is going to be testifying in. Check it out.
Ventura and 3 other victims are getting ready to testify against Diddy. Cassie Ventura is ready to testify against Diddy with her real name being known to the media and to the public. But the other 3 victims against Diddy want to remain anonymous to the media and the public, but they will be known to Diddy and the jury. And right now, this is only a motion to the judge asking the judge if these 3 victims are able to remain anonymous to the public and to the media. Feds are alleging that victim 1, victim 2, and victim 3 were trafficked by Diddy by force, fraud, or coercion. And victim 4 is one of Diddy's former female employees who is alleging that they were put through forced labor, including physical activities with Diddy through force and threats of serious harm. And Diddy's new charges that he just just got hit with the other day, it alleges that he trafficked victim number 2, and this happened from 2021 up until 2024. And I found some interesting information that might be about this. Back on September 27th of 2024, there was this lawsuit filed by this woman alleging that she was with Diddy during this time frame and she lost a baby, and all of the allegations that center around these trafficking charges. And I found it super strange. Out of all of the lawsuits that were filed against Diddy, this one in particular was sealed from the public shortly after it was filed. In this lawsuit, it was filed by a Florida woman who filed as a Jane Doe who worked as a model and claims that she was forced to travel and perform for Diddy many times in the last few years. She alleged in this lawsuit that her and Diddy started seeing each other in 2021, the same date that we see the feds listing in this trafficking charge. She said that she was flown to different states, including California, New York, by his company Bad Boy Enterprise to have physical relationships with him. According to the filing, the victim often felt coerced into going to see Diddy by members of his team and Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Korm. And she alleged that Christina Korm was among the agents who would pay for her travel to see Diddy. She also said that the staffers would send drivers to her home to pick her up before she agreed to travel, to the point where she did not believe she had a choice but to go. Through the spring of 2022, she was ordered to take a lot of illegal substances, a lot of which are listed in Diddy's indictments. And she was forced to have physical relations with Diddy in his homes in Los Angeles and Miami. She said at one point while she was on these substances, it caused her to black out intermittently, and on one of the occasions she woke up and her feet were purple and bruised and she had a bite mark on her heel, but she had no memory of how she got the injuries. That summer, she alleged that she found out that she was pregnant and she told Diddy about it, but at the time, Diddy's girlfriend, Young Miami, harassed her by repeatedly calling her and ordering her to have an abortion, which automatically made me think of one of Diddy's ex-girlfriends who we heard from publicly, who had a very similar story, but these two stories are not the same. We also saw Young Miami going at Gina in a very disgusting way. Gina, you have been down bad ever since you came into the picture. You've been crying for a baby for 10 years. You've been around as a that eats when he feels like it. You're an eater. You are the same person that was crying on Tasha K because you wanted a baby. I wanted you to eat. Diddy would have had you on your knees. You're a eater. Even though I don't think that victim number 2 that we are talking about now is Gina, I do think it is very possible that Gina is victim number 3, because we all watched what she said very publicly, and she also had her allegations and even said that she was around during the same time as Cassie Ventura. The stories that we are hearing in this lawsuit that could be victim number 2 because of the time frames and what's being alleged is very similar to what we heard Gina reference, but we know based off of the time frame that victim number 2 wouldn't be her. Now, the Jane Doe that filed this lawsuit also said that he would continue to command her to travel with him until July of 2024, the same time frame in the indictment for victim number 2. And then this right here is the bombshell. She said at the time Diddy was continuing to contact her in an attempt to intimidate her, which we know is exactly what the feds alleged Diddy was doing and why he was denied bail. Diddy himself has contacted witnesses, including those who received grand jury subpoenas from the government in this case, and the contact occurred prior to the dates of the testimonies or meetings with the government. In one case with an individual who hadn't spoken with the defendant in years prior to his reach out, the defendant also directly contacted at least one victim, which I will circle back to momentarily. And the feds said that they have these phone calls. They said in these phone calls with the victim that they mentioned, there were 2 calls. The victim is financially supported by Diddy, and 2 calls were recorded. In these phone calls, Diddy asked for the victim's support and friendship and attempts to convince her that she had willingly engaged in these physical acts with him. Diddy then ensures her that if she continues to be on his side and provide support and friendship, that she doesn't have anything else to worry about, which I assume what he was referencing was this financial support that he was already offering this woman. During this same time, it's also when we saw Dawn Richard be brought up about how Diddy was contacting witnesses and things like that were supposed to testify to the grand jury. They brought up how Diddy contacted Kalina Harper after Dawn Richard filed her lawsuit against Diddy, and the feds said that Dawn Richard's lawsuit overlaps in time period with the events in this criminal case. They said that Diddy called or texted Kalina Harper 58 times in 4 days. So I think it is very possible that victim number 4 that we are hearing about forced labor and being a former female worker of Diddy, is really Dawn Richard. And this is why they said at the time that Diddy was harassing one of the witnesses in the case, which would have been Kalina Harper. And if she is a witness, then we can assume that there is a good possibility that Dawn Richard is one of the victims in Diddy's criminal trial. Because mind you, a lot of the things in Dawn Richard's lawsuit also involved Cassie Ventura. That is why the feds said that they overlap with this criminal case. We do know the only person that is going to move on so far with their full name and has no problem with it is going to be Cassie Ventura. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
You know what I'm saying? She just broke down all of the documents and everything for you. Went to the victims, and there's two other victims, and one of them had a child and was pregnant with Diddy's baby, and then they had Young Miami coming at her at a point in time through Twitter, talking shit, you know what I'm saying, and a whole bunch of shit. So the whole bunch of shit is going on, and it's a new motherfucking Diddy lawsuit, new day, you know what I'm saying? I just went over last week about somebody else coming forward saying that they seen LeBron James, Beyonce, and everybody, and Jacob the Jeweler, and everybody at this house that he was invited to, you know what I'm saying? This was just last week, so here we are, another week, a new case filed against this nigga, you know what I'm saying? It's a new day, new case, new lawsuit with Diddy, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole bunch of shit that just keep coming out, like every week there is something new with Diddy. You feel me? I don't even know what to say about it anymore at this point. I don't have any thoughts to share on it or nothing. It's just too much every week. It is something else. Somebody coming out with something that they saying something that Diddy did this, Diddy did that, Diddy did this and that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. This shit is wild. You know what I mean? It's a new case every motherfucking day, it seems. Somebody is coming out saying that Diddy did this and that to him. You know what I mean? So I don't know what the fuck to believe anymore. You know what I mean? But as you seen, that was Kadisha Lynn. You know what I'm saying? I had pointed her out last time when I had the 8-minute clip. So this just was a 7-minute clip, but she gives you, like I said, all the details and court documents and testifying statements and all that. She give you all that in her clips. You feel me? As you just seen. So yeah, that's Diddy. Cassie gonna keep her name revealed. You know what I'm saying? They also were saying that the footage that we seen of Diddy and Cassie, you know what I mean, that the famous footage that went around of her dragging her in the hallway and kicking her in the ass and all that. Apparently that they're saying that was altered, and it been altered. So they're issuing, the team is issuing for that not to be used in the case, because they're saying that it's not the actual footage. It has been altered, they said. So I don't know, man. New day, new Diddy trial. You know what I mean? Everybody coming out trying to sue the man, saying they did this and he did that to him. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think he gonna get off. Once they grant the nigga bail for whatever amount, it's over with. He is definitely getting flown the fuck out of jail for sure, because he's definitely gonna post the bail, whatever the fuck it may be. You know what I'm saying? We all know he's a very rich man. You know what I mean? He was trying to offer him up 50 M's just for the fuck of it, just to place bail just early on. And the judge was denied it 3 different occasions. You know what I mean? I think they set for a trial, I think in June or something like that is the next trial date on the Diddy situation. And last but not least, you know what I'm saying, real quick, JID, you feel me? So JID is coming out with a collab album with Metro Boomin. I think that shit's gonna be fucking dope. We all know how dope of a producer Metro Boomin is. You know know what I'm saying? So he got a collab album coming out with the lyrical JID. JID went on to perform a little snippet of this at the Dreamville Fest that went on over the weekend. You know what I'm saying? He performed a snippet of this new song that he got on the collab that he got coming with Metro Boomin. You know what I'm saying? Apparently Metro Boomin made the beat in the snippet and it got fans going crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait for this album. I think JID is a dope artist. We all heard him spit on Fuel. If Fuel didn't ignite nothing under him to where people gonna go looking for him, this album is definitely gonna do so for sure. But I've been on JID. I'm very familiar with his music. I've been used to his music. You feel me? So this next little clip that you're about to see is just letting you know that he did a little snippet at the Dreamfest and he got an album coming up with the one and only Metro Boomin. Check this clip out.
JID and Metro Boomin just dropped an insane snippet that has fans going wild. The track features a nasty beat switch halfway through with JID's signature dizzying flows and slick rhymes. There's even a funny moment where a distorted voice repeatedly says, JID drop, just drop. Clearly poking fun at impatient fans. JID recently confirmed one of his albums has been turned in and is coming really fucking soon. The wait might finally be over for what could be one of the year's most anticipated hip-hop collaborations.
Just letting you know that JID did a little snippet at the Dreamfest and had fans going, wow, you know what I'm saying, with the little snippet of the new song or the little collab. They said it was a little dope beat change and him dropping this little lyrics on it and so forth. You know what I mean? So I am hyped for that because I know Metro Boomin gonna kill it. JID is gonna kill it on some Metro Boomin beats. You know what I'm saying? So that shit should be fucking dope. I'm hyped for that. I don't know when it's coming out, but they said they are currently working on it, so we could probably expect that album out in a couple months or so. Definitely probably for the summer, I would imagine they want to get that out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. That's about all the news I got for today on a Monday. You know what I'm saying? There was some other shit going on, and 50 Cent was trolling. 50 Cent had recently trolled Terrence Howard, actually, for coming out and saying what he said. You know what I'm saying? He said something like, I don't got no comment, God bless us all, or something like that he had said in response to Terrence Howard viral moment of him talking about Diddy and giving up manhood and all that shit like you heard on the clip that I played for you. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching though. You know what I'm saying? Today's episode, this has been episode 221, and today we talked about the Terrence Howard buzz that's been going on over the weekend. I showed you what that was about. We also touched on a new Diddy case has been filed with Cassie and 2 other victims. Cassie has agreed to keep her name in the trial without them anonymously covering it up. The other victims have agreed to let their names only be known to the parties, the Diddy's party and the defendants or whatnot, but not to the public. We also just touched on JID coming out with a Metro Boomin album collab that they got coming out soon. He also did a little snippet of it at the Dreamville Fest over the weekend. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all the time we got for today. You know what I'm saying? I've been running late. Like I said, I'm running late. Got to pick my son up like now. You know what I mean? But yeah, thank you for tuning in though. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in and watching Kons Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for tuning in to episode 222. You know what I mean? I hope y'all enjoyed the little wrap up that I did on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Did a little weekly wrap up. I might do that shit some more. Come different Fridays, you know what I mean? Depending on what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind doing a little wrap up for the week, touching on everything we had talked about and said in the week, the Monday through Thursday portion of the week. But yeah, this has been episode 222. Please tell somebody about this. Please hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Comment on something if you feel you wanted to say something on what I said. Hit the comment button. You know what I'm saying? And thank you for tuning in. We all know you could have been doing anything that you wanted to do in the world, no matter who you was, whether you was a brother, whether you was a sister, whether you was an auntie, or uncle, whether you was a wife, a husband, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a daughter, a son, whoever you may be. And if you got pets that they look at Kons Podcast, also, whether your pet is a cat, whether you got a pet dog, a pet pig, whether you got a pet rat, rabbit, a gerbil, whether you got a pet goat, you know what I'm saying? Whether you got a pet spider, whether you got a pet worm, whoever the fuck it may be, you feel me? As long as they got eyes on Kons Podcast, I definitely salute to them. Like you see my nigga scrolling up the screen, you know what I'm saying? But you hear that beat get loud in the background. This beat that you hear right now was definitely made by my oldest son, beats by JJ, you know what I'm saying? The beat that you heard in the beginning, the intro, that beat was made by my nigga, rest in peace, old Amazing Beats, you feel me? But yeah, thank you for tuning in, thank you for watching. This has been episode 221, you know what I'm saying? Stay tuned, you feel me? I will definitely see y'all next episode, you know what I'm saying? Stay tuned, hit the like button, comment, and share on this shit. Tell somebody else about it. Put this shit on your social media, on your Facebook, on your Snapchat, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Put it in your messenger, your text that you got with your family. Your family, drop the link in there. You know what I'm saying? Let all the family know about Kons Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Enjoy this.